Right now at 7, President Trump enters the conclave conversation with a controversial AI photo. Got the details ahead.
And we're going to see very nice weather today and going forward. We'll have more details coming up.
This is Weekend Mornings, and we thank you for joining us here on this Sunday morning, May the 4th. I'm Kopazorski, and let's get to the first warm forecast with Jacob Montesano. Good morning, Jacob. Going to have a lot of good days in the weather category going forward, aren't we?
Yeah, pretty much every single day we're going to get to at least the 60s, and most days, if not every day this week, will be dry. Now take a look at the current conditions. They're actually colder right now than this time yesterday because we're seeing clear skies. But trust me when I say the afternoon will be a lot better. Now taking a look at the current radar, not seeing anything right now. All of this green is just some disturbances, not actually precipitation. And as we take a look at the winds, right now they're calm, but we may see some breezy weather today, especially in southeastern Wisconsin. We'll have a little bit of a lake breeze. Winds could gust maybe up to around 25 miles per hour at the worst. So it's not going to be a huge deal, but it may keep temperatures a little bit cooler as you get closer to Lake Michigan. And as we look at the highs for today, in Madison, we're going to have highs likely in the middle to upper 60s. But again, we are going to see a little bit of a breeze, but we'll see a lot of sunshine as well. You folks in La Crosse, though, not expect to see that windy weather. And you also will see temperatures a little bit warmer, highs possibly in the middle to lower 70s. And across the board, a lot of 60s and 70s are in the forecast today, but maybe only in the 50s for places near the lake like Milwaukee. But our area, upper 60s to lower 70s for highs and plenty of sun. And I'll talk more in detail about the forecast that's going to be very similar to this for a lot of this week. I'll have those details coming up a bit later.
All right, Jacob, thank you. And we start this hour with a live look of the Vatican as preparations are continuing for the conclave to choose the next pope. And now President Trump has entered the conversation, posting a surprising image of himself dressed as a pope to his social media. This comes also as Trump is defending his administration's actions on tariffs. CBS's Bradley Blackburn has more.
At the Vatican Saturday, amid the splendor of the Sistine Chapel, work crews set the stage for the conclave, installing the chimney that will announce the selection of the next pope. But in Palm Beach, President Trump was the one blowing smoke on social media, posting an AI-generated image of himself dressed as pontiff. The apparent joke, with no written comment, was reposted by the official White House account and played off the president's suggestion earlier this week.
As Pope? I'd like to be Pope. That would be my number one choice. No, I don't know. I have no preference.
The president isn't Catholic, but some of the faithful did not find it funny. On X, a former Italian prime minister wrote, "This is an image that offends believers." And the Catholic bishops of New York State said, "There is nothing clever or funny about this image, Mr. President," adding, "Do not mock us." The Vatican declined to comment. Cardinals continue their daily congregations and will enter the conclave Wednesday.
We will find the best person to succeed St. Peter.
Back in the U.S., the president is also defending his tariffs, saying the risk of a recession is worth it in an interview with NBC News.
There are many people on Wall Street say this is going to be the greatest windfall ever happened.
And that's my question.
Remember
the long term.
Yeah.
Is it okay in the short term to have a recession?
This. Look, everything's okay. What we are, I said, this is a transition period. I think we're going to do fantastically.
The president returns to Washington Sunday night. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
And on Truth Social Saturday, President Trump also took aim at judges he says aren't allowing the deportation of, quote, criminals, including murderers. He wrote, "This is not what our founders had in mind." Now to an update. One person was killed in a two-vehicle crash along U.S. Highway 18-151 near Barneveld on Friday afternoon. This happened near the intersection with Iowa County Highway K. According to law enforcement, a pickup truck did not stop at the intersection, which led to a semi hitting it and killing the pickup truck's driver, a 70-year-old male of Black Earth. A public meeting is being held this Tuesday on what the Iowa County Sheriff's Office has referred to as a dangerous intersection. And next to a follow-up on a motor vehicle crash on Madison's east side, which left heavy damage to a coffee shop. It was on Friday when a vehicle crashed into a brick column of Mother Fool's Coffee House. The cafe was evacuated and a property owner shut down electricity to the front of the store just as a safety precaution. The column that was hit had been supporting part of the front of the building. On Saturday, we caught up with one of the owners of the building who shares that this is not the first time something like this has happened there.
And then for us, this is our third time being hit by a car. The building was also hit by a car once, at least, before we owned it. And then other businesses up and down the street have also been hit by cars. So I guess my main point is it's a great time to do some traffic calming things on Willie Street.
Now, a second involved vehicle was also found nearby with minor front end damage, and no injuries were reported on Friday. Public health experts have raised serious concerns about the EPA's new plans targeting PFAS chemicals. These chemicals are chemicals that can contaminate drinking water and are called forever chemicals because they don't break down in the environment. They accumulate in our bodies and have been linked to several health problems, including various types of cancer. The Biden EPA took steps to effectively require water systems to remove PFAS from tap water by 2029. However, industry groups sued over the new rules. And experts are now expressing concerns because under the Trump EPA's plans, it is not clear if the agency will defend the rules, rescind them, revise them, or uphold them. Just a lot of uncertainty happening there. Warren Buffett, well, he shocked thousands of Berkshire Hathaway shareholders Saturday with plans that he is intending to step down as CEO. The 94-year-old has been leading the company for now 60 years. It was in 1965 when his friend Charlie Munger and him set off to begin a journey to transform their company from a small textile one in Nebraska into a $1 trillion behemoth known now around the world. Buffett is reportedly worth more than $160 billion, but still lives in the same Omaha house that he purchased in 1958 for just $31,500. Now to continuing coverage, it could cost you more to repair your car as another round of tariffs went into effect on Saturday, with the latest round now specifically impacting car parts. Jen Sullivan looks at how much more consumers could be paying.
Most car parts imported into the U.S. will now be hit with a 25% tariff. A CNN analysis found it could add an average of $4,000 per vehicle. Many in the auto industry are worried it could rock the entire car market.
We have to keep the vehicle affordable for Americans. That's the balancing act.
Even American-made Fords have some foreign parts, and those parts coming from other countries will be subject to the import tax. Last year, the U.S. imported over $197 billion in automotive parts from other countries, according to U.S. Automotive Aftermarket. President Donald Trump is hoping the tariffs entice automakers to open more plants in the U.S., creating more American jobs.
We have to look at whether these policies really change our competitors' commitment to America.
General Motors says the tariffs could cost the company between $4 to $5 billion this year. But the CEO says she doesn't expect those costs to fall on consumers in the near future.
Pricing is going to stay about at the same levels that it is.
This is the latest round of tariffs hitting the auto industry since Trump took office. Last month, the Trump administration implemented a 25% tariff on all cars imported into the U.S. And while consumers may not see prices go up right away, many experts warn that could change.
The tariffs have yet to really come into effect, and when they do, there's going to be a very different economic mood.
I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
And the White House says automakers assembling cars in the U.S. will be able to offset some of the tariffs equal to 3.75% of the manufacturer's suggested retail price for the first year. Now to more local news. On Saturday, Sun Prairie community leaders hosted the 7th annual Black Excellence Achievement Makers Awards ceremony, which is better known as BEAM. Many families who showed up spent the day learning and rewarding students in their community.
BEAM Awards is unlike any other award. Sun Prairie often recognizes things like grit, which are incredible. It's really important to have, resiliency and all of those things, but BEAM really is about taking a cultural lens and an equity lens.
Now, in addition to the awards, attendees sat through panels to learn more about the Sun Prairie community And this year, organizers said they awarded 7 students. We send our congratulations to all of the winners. And it's clearly spring as the Hilldale Farmers Market is back open now for 2025. Running now through October 25th, the market brings Madisonians some homegrown goodness twice weekly on Wednesdays and Saturdays. You can find info on the market and what you can expect by looking for this story over on channel3000.com. 10 past the hour still ahead. Cardinals are arriving in the Vatican for the upcoming conclave. Plus, the first ever 3D printed Starbucks is now open. But first, Jacob will be back with a check of the full forecast.
Good morning, everybody. Here's a look at the 3 things you need to know. Warmer today, and in general, 60s and 70s are going to be in the forecast going forward. We'll also see very little rainfall for the entire week and into next week as well. So looking at the one small chance of rain we do have, it'll be later tonight into tomorrow. But for today, almost complete sunshine, just a few clouds in southern Wisconsin. And then later in the night, we will see some light rain move into southeastern Wisconsin. Some of that may creep into the eastern portion of our viewing area. Might see some light sprinkles from Madison and places to the east, but again, if it does rain, it will be very light, and much of the area will not see any rain at all. We will see cloudy skies early, but then clear skies by the evening. And as we take a look at the cloud cover and rainfall forecast going forward for the rest of the week, we're going to see much of the same. A lot of clear skies starting Tuesday, plenty of sunshine, maybe a little bit more cloud cover for Wednesday, maybe a very isolated sprinkle, but that is just about it. As we get into Thursday and Friday, almost complete sunshine expected those days. And then for Saturday and Mother's Day, it looks like we'll see much of the same. So looking specifically at the amount of rainfall we're expecting through this time next week, it's really only a few sprinkles from that rain tonight into tomorrow for places near Lake Michigan, but a lot of the area may not see a single drop of rain, and it may continue beyond just the next 7 days. We're expecting drier than average conditions for Madison and areas to the south and also up to the northeast. Wetter than average conditions in the northwest and southeastern portion of the United States. Now, temperatures during this whole time, they're expected to be very nice, upper 60s to lower 70s for much of the area today. Plenty of sunshine, especially for areas further northwest. Again, maybe a little bit of cloud cover in southern and southeastern Wisconsin, and it will be cooler closer to the lake. Milwaukee may only see highs in the 50s because of that lake breeze. And overall temperatures tomorrow will be a little bit cooler, but still expected to get into the 60s, and the wind's not going to be too bad. The reason for those cooler temperatures will be the cloud cover, especially through the early afternoon, but by the evening it should be clear. And overall, we're going to see a lot of sunshine moving forward. Wednesday really looks to be the only day that we'll see a lot of clouds. Almost every other day we'll see more clear skies than more cloudy skies. So very nice weather is expected moving forward. And as I've been saying all morning, because of the rain we just received the last couple of days, we can afford this break without worrying too much about the drought, at least for now. Obviously, if this persists for a while, we would have to worry. But at least for the next week and maybe even the next 2 weeks, we're not too concerned about the drought, and especially considering it's hard to complain about anything when the forecast is this good.
All right. Indeed. Thank you, Jacob. Well, Cardinals from around the world continue to arrive in the Vatican. You're seeing the video here now. We continue to talk about this. The papal conclave is happening on this Wednesday. It was yesterday when many came together to begin the daily congregations, and some preparations, of course, are being made leading up to the solemn pageantry to elect a successor to Pope Francis. It was on Friday when the chimney was put in place inside the Sistine Chapel, which will indicate the vote for the pontiff. Black coming back for no pope and white for a new one. Got some health news this morning. The Department of Health and Human Services is investigating $500 million in hopes to create a universal flu vaccine. The project hopes to develop a shot that can protect against multiple virus strains, including bird flu. The vaccine is being worked on in-house at the National Institutes of Allergies and Infectious Diseases. Researchers are using older technology that delivers an entire virus that's been chemically tweaked so it can't infect human cells. This type of vaccine tends to create long-lasting protection by giving the body a chance to develop antibodies to many parts of a virus. Well, here is something that you don't see every day. The rear portion of a car was just up and left in a St. Louis, Missouri neighborhood. This is the crazy video that you're seeing here. Just half of a car placed in the middle of a street. It's left the residents frustrated and confused. Some saying they don't know how it even got there, considering it can't be driven.
I don't know why it's there, how it got dropped off. It's kind of like mysterious.
We just don't want more junk in the neighborhood.
It's just a crazy thing to see that. So some other residents say it was a truck that dragged the half car into an alley on Monday and left the neighbors to push it out of the way there into the street. The St. Louis mayor's office has said that they were working to find a way to pick up the vehicle on Friday. Well, and check this out. A first of its kind Starbucks opened in Brownsville, Texas this week. It's the coffee giant's first ever 3D printed store in the U.S. And it's on the small side at just over 1,400 square feet, and it's a drive-through only. Starbucks has not said why they chose to open the store, but it's certainly something that's unique, being made out of 3D materials. Well, some other fun news we got to today, of course, is May the 4th, so I guess I'm obligated to say May the 4th be with you. Star Wars fans pay homage each year on this date to the film franchise that left an indelible mark on American culture. The play on words, of course, is a nod to the arguably most famous Star Wars quote of all time, "May the Force be with you." The Star Wars live-action film franchise, of course, began back in 1977 with the blockbuster movies starring Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, and Harrison Ford. It's 7:20, still ahead. Got to focus on women's health, and we'll share how the newest addition to Janesville is aimed at helping out in that matter. Plus, here's a look at today's Day in History.
Here's a look at the temperatures over the last 2 weeks. We've seen a lot of up and down, some days below, some days above. The last couple of days have been below normal, but in general, we're going to see those temperatures be above that normal level for the next 10 days. Average high is 64. By the end of the 10-day forecast, it'll be in the upper 60s, but even with that, we're still going to be above that for a lot of days. A lot of 70s in the forecast, and even Monday and possibly Thursday, where the temperatures will dip a little bit, they are still going to be comfortable. And looking beyond just the next 10 days, the 8 to 14-day temperature outlook shows warmer than average temperatures. So what we're seeing this week may continue into next week as well, and that's going to be plenty of sunshine, warm temperatures, and dry weather. Hopefully we don't see a drought begin to form, but as I've been mentioning, for now, we definitely are good for at least the rest of this week.
All right, Jacob, thank you. On to more news. Women's health is the focus of downtown Janesville's newest addition. But as our Ellie LaLiberte shows us, there's a bit of a twist or jump to the workout classes.
It's something you're more likely to find at a playground. But for Carrie Krieger, each jump is a step towards body positivity.
This is the one space that you can come to, and you have to focus on yourself.
She opened Rock Rebounding downtown Janesville this week with the goal of lifting women up.
As moms, we focus on 20 million different things. So the female empowerment is, I want you to understand to love your body through all phases of life and to become one with the trampoline and spend time with just yourself.
The 30-minute classes Carrie offers happen right on these 10 trampolines and are meant just for women.
With the perimenopausal world, I feel like this could be something that could be great to bring to Janesville. Strengthening of the pelvic floor, we do a lot of bringing our knees to our core, a lot of core workout, really bringing something that's new and shiny, but also low impact and high energy.
Carrie's only taught a couple of classes so far, but is already catching the attention of women like Sarah Byer.
It is interesting just because there's a lot of movement. I'm one that I don't stay still well, so I think it's fun. You just get to kind of bounce and be crazy, so that speaks to me.
I think as females, we're always so hard on our body. We need to find wins in life as females and accept our body no matter what, at whatever stage we're at.
The empowerment in each step, or jump, of Carrie's business plan. Reporting in Janesville, Ellie La Liberté, News 3 Now.
And Ellie, thank you. Currently, classes are Monday through Friday mornings, but Krieger is looking to hire another instructor to offer more. And you can find the class schedule and booking information up on this story on channel3000.com. It's 7:26, still ahead here on Weekend Mornings. Got another half hour of news ahead with today's biggest news and weather headlines. Stick with us. We're back in a bit. Right now at 7:30, another sign of spring as the Hilldale Farmers Market makes its return for the season. Plus, Saturday was the VFW's Day of Service. We'll share how the organization worked with the Madison community to inspire learning in the outdoors. This is Weekend Mornings, live from Madison. We thank you for joining us. I'm Kyle Pazorski here on this Sunday, May 4th. And let's get to the first warm forecast like we always do. And Jacob is still around this morning. Hi, Jacob.
Hey, Kyle. Taking a look outside, this is from Platteville. We're seeing a good amount of sunshine, but still a few clouds rolling through. That's going to be the case, especially in southern Wisconsin today. Other parts of the area, specifically northwest towards La Crosse, you folks may see complete sunshine. Now, because of those clear skies, we are seeing temperatures a little bit cooler than this time yesterday, as southern Wisconsin is in the upper 30s for a few locations. About the same temperature as yesterday further northwest, where temperatures are in the middle 40s for La Crosse and surrounding areas. And we're not dealing with a lot of wind right now, but we could see some breezy conditions today, especially for Madison and areas to the east, where we will get a little bit of a lake breeze, which may keep temperatures a little bit cooler closer to Lake Michigan. But as far as the wind goes, even at worst, we're going to see gusts up to 25 miles per hour. So overall, the wind not a big deal. And also the further west you're located, the less wind you will see. And this is expected to calm down for the most part during the overnight hours. Still maybe seeing a little bit of a lake breeze closer to Milwaukee. But looking at the forecast for today, we will see plenty of sunshine, a few clouds here and there, but definitely dry. Highs will be in the middle 60s. Winds, again, a little bit breezy at times, but not too bad. La Crosse, with the complete sunshine and the less wind, you folks will actually see warmer temperatures with highs in the middle to lower 70s. But we're going to see a lot of 70s going forward, even if we don't get there today for southern Wisconsin. I'll talk more about that coming up a little bit later.
All right, Jacob, thank you. And topping our news this half hour, flags across Wisconsin will fly at half-staff today to honor fallen firefighters. Governor Tony Evers signed the order Friday saying, quote, "We recognize and thank all members of our firefighting communities for their brave service and sacrifice, and honor those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in pursuit of safety and serving their fellow neighbor." The order aligns with the National Fallen Firefighters Memorial Weekend. Some news here in Madison. A flooding incident at a chemical manufacturer has been brought under control. It was on Saturday when a Madison fire crew responded to the facility on the city's east side. They say a water main break occurred inside of the building. Madison Fire's hazmat team arrived and worked to mitigate any of the hazards there, and the DNR also remained on scene for a while following the incident to perform water tests in the area. If you need more of a hint that the farmers market season is here, look no further as the market at the Hilldale Shopping Center is back for 2025. Running now through October 25th, the Hilldale Farmers Market brings Madisonians some homegrown goodness twice weekly. Yesterday, we had the chance to catch up with one of the vendors whose family is no stranger to the scene.
Lots of new products this year. I've kind of opened it up and done some different things and want to appeal to a larger crowd. So super exciting. I love it. I spend a lot of my time thinking of ideas and just working on the farm. Parents do the market up at the square. My sister does Dubuque, and my sister Jill does Wauwatosa. So we're all over, just trying to get all the honey needs here to the public.
The Hilldale Farmers Market is every Wednesday and Saturday, now running from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Got some more local news. This weekend begins a month of service projects nationwide being done by the VFW. In Dane County, the national organization is partnering with North Madison's Lakeview Elementary for the VFW's Day of Service. So yesterday, work was focused on helping the school build new opportunities to learn outdoors.
And so partnering with the VFW today to come out, they really came to us and said, what do you need? Really wanting to take learning outdoors. We have been doing that for quite a while now and wanting to expand our outdoor learning spaces. And so talking through that, we identified that we want to put in a bike path.
Now, the veterans of Forgotten Wars have been putting on the Day of Service nationally since around 2020. News in the Cooley region, community members in La Crosse took to the streets Saturday calling for justice, fair treatment, and protections for workers and immigrants. Organizers say they showed up united in a peaceful rally to defend due process, union rights, and dignity for all. They also say growing threats to legal protections are putting democracy at risk. And got some new video in this morning of a crash on Madison's Beltline Highway. As you can see here, this vehicle rolling over, going onto its top. This was near the Todd Drive ramps and blocked 2 lanes for about an hour last night. Madison police tell us over the phone that there were some very minor injuries. Judge Hannah Dugan was arrested this past week in relation to federal immigration enforcement, and she's now facing charges of obstruction stemming from actions that took place in her courtroom. The complaint against the judge alleges that she tried to help a person avoid arrest by immigration agents. Now this week on For the Record, our Will Keneally will speak with UW legal expert John Gross about what kind of impact this will have on Wisconsin's court system.
This is, I think, an extreme reaction and one which is sort of out of character with the way in which traditionally federal and state law enforcement officials and judges have respected one another and cooperated with one another.
Now, he goes on to say there have been some other instances where law enforcement wants to make an arrest in a court, but it's usually more collaborative than in this current situation. And you can see more of this conversation later on today at 10:30 on For the Record on WISC-TV. It's 7:36, still ahead on weekend mornings. Jacob will be back with a quick check of today's weather. Stick with us. And welcome back to our studios here live in Madison. Got some more news this morning. Astronomers have been trying to determine the cosmic origins of the heaviest elements in our universe, like gold, now for decades. But now some new research based on a signal uncovered in archival data may point to a potential clue. The clue being magnetars, or highly magnetized neutron stars, which occasionally unleash an enormous amount of radiation due to starquakes. This is all a bunch of scientific terms that are kind of hard to understand. But for the study, the researchers, they looked at this archival data of the last observed giant magnetar flare and say what they found is what resembled the creation and distribution of heavy elements would look like. So basically, their conclusion was it's believed the giant magnetar flares could be responsible for up to 10% of elements, bringing us another source of gold out there in the cosmos. So we just need to figure out how to capture that gold and bring it back here and put it into our pockets, don't we, Jacob?
Yeah, that'd be pretty nice. I mean, there's also actually like a diamond planet that has just like a plethora of diamonds.
Why aren't we going there?
I don't think we have the technology to get there. That's just my guess, but I'm not an expert. Anyway, let's take a look at the amount of rain we've seen to start May. We've had about 2.5 inches of rain in just the first 3 days, and the overall average for the amount of rain we see in May is just over 4 inches. So we're already past that halfway point. And I've been talking about this all morning. It's a good thing we've had as much rain the last couple of days. Really getting the ground a good soak, because the next week we're really not going to see much. Some areas may not even see a drop of rain from now through this time next week. Could see some light rain near Lake Michigan, but that is just about it. Now, the other thing that helped with the rain the last couple of days is we were at a little bit of a deficit for the amount of rain we normally see this year, because April was just a little bit below normal in rainfall. March was above, January and February were dry, but now right at this moment in time, we are about to average what we normally see over the course of the entire year up until this point. But obviously the normal will once again get above what we have seen this year because the dry pattern that we're going to see this week. But as I've been saying, definitely not a bad thing considering we do have a good amount of rain on the ground right now.
Yeah, that's for sure. All right, Jacob, thank you. And now let's go back over to another live look of the Vatican. It was yesterday when cardinals from around the world arrived to begin some daily congregations ahead of the upcoming papal conclave. And of course, preparations are being made leading up to the solemn pageantry to elect a successor to Pope Francis. It was on Friday when the chimney was put in place at the Sistine Chapel, which will indicate the vote for the new Pope. And this is getting some buzz online and a lot of reaction. President Donald Trump sharing an AI-generated image of himself depicted as the Pope on social media. He posted the image on Friday, which was then shared by the official White House account on the social media platforms. And the post comes just days after Trump joked with reporters that he would like to be the next pope before stating he didn't have a preference on who the next pope should be. Many Catholics, however, are taking to social media to call the post insensitive and offensive. Time now is 7:43. Still ahead, Andrew will check in with Saturday sports highlights. Plus, Jacob will be back with a full check of the first warm forecast. You're watching Weekend Mornings.
Good morning, everybody. Here's a final look at the 3 things you need to know. Warmer today, but in general, we're going to continue to see those 60s and 70s moving forward. We'll also see very little rainfall for the entire week. Now, looking at the cloud cover and small chance of rainfall the next couple of days, we'll see mostly sunny skies today, just a few passing clouds in southern Wisconsin. Later tonight, take a look towards the southeastern portion of Wisconsin. We'll see some light rain move into the area. Some of that may creep into places just east of Madison. May still see some sprinkles in Dane County. But for the most part, if it does rain, it will be very light, and a lot of the area will not see any rain at all. We will see a good amount of cloud cover early, but then clear skies are expected during the evening. But those cloudy skies may keep the temperatures just a little bit cooler for your Monday. Now, that looks like it will be just about it for the rain chances this week. Looking at the cloud cover rainfall forecast beyond just today and tomorrow, sunny skies expected Tuesday. Wednesday does look to be the cloudiest day. Might see just a light sprinkle, but again, we're still expected to be dry. Plenty of sunshine Thursday, plenty of sunshine Friday, and it looks like those sunny skies are going to continue for next weekend and into Mother's Day. So once again, looking at the precipitation chances over the next week, very dry conditions, just that small chance tonight into Monday, and even that is mostly for Madison and areas to the east. You folks in La Crosse likely not going to see anything. And even beyond the 10-day forecast, we're going to see dry conditions possibly continue for the middle portion of May. So we're really going to get into this dry period, and temperatures during this period will be very nice as well. Looking at today, middle to upper 60s to lower 70s, maybe seeing highs in the 50s closer to Lake Michigan, as there will be a little bit of a lake breeze. And with the cloudy skies early tomorrow, we will see temperatures just a little bit cooler, highs in the middle to lower 60s, still very comfortable, and still going to be in the lower 70s further northwest, where you folks in Eau Claire may see complete sunshine for the entire day. Now, looking at the full 10-day forecast, I mean, hard to get better than this, especially considering we just saw a good amount of rainfall, so we're not too worried about drought conditions forming, at least not for right now. Plenty of sunshine, and almost every day, at least for La Crosse, could get into the 70s. It will be a little bit cooler for some of those days in Madison because we're going to continue to see a little bit of a lake breeze. So places further east, closer to Milwaukee, may see some of these days where highs are only in the 50s. Specifically today may only see highs in the 50s. So just be aware of that for places further east. But even so, still going to see plenty of sunshine. And although the lake breeze will cool things down, it's not going to be too windy because of it. So the sunny skies will make it feel a bit warmer, and it may get even warmer for the beginning of next week for Mother's Day.
NFL rookie minicamp is kind of like freshman orientation before college. The first day jitters, of course, are still there, but it's not too bad because just about everybody is brand new. The Pack reported to camp yesterday a total of 38 players, including, of course, the Packers' 8 draft picks. And for the Pack's first-round pick this year, Matthew Golden, the move to Green Bay has been a piece of cake.
He texted me literally right after I got drafted, told me it's time to go to work, congratulated me, and just told me, it's time to work, come here and work. I'm definitely going to try to run 4.29 on the field. so Jordan can put the ball out there somewhere for me.
Whatever my team need me to do, that's what I'm gonna do. So, coach tell me to get on tight end and play tight end. So, just getting the ball in my hand quick. That's probably it. But just doing anything I need, doing everything I need to do.
In the history of horse racing, there is one clear-cut greatest of all time, or GOAT horse, Secretariat. And the proof is in the pudding. In this year's Kentucky Derby, all 19 horses are direct descendants of Secretariat, which is quite the bloodline that leads us into what many call the best 2 minutes in sports. And this year, we had a 22-minute delay to get to those special 2 minutes. But after the long, rainy wait on a wet track, one thoroughbred thumped his way to the finish line first. Sovereignty is your winner of the 151st Kentucky Derby. The odds-on horse, Journalism, finished second. The Brewers have been obliterated in each of their last two, trying to right the ship against the Cubs. Bottom of the third, Bryce Terang ties it up as he rings one to the right side. But in the next half, after he tied the game, did Terang, Pete Crow Armstrong tore it wide open. He continues a sensational series for the Cubs, hit 2 bombs in the series opener and smashed another tater last night. The Brewers lose 6-2 and fall 2 games under 500. In the most extreme cases, players in college sports are now making millions of dollars a year to play their sport and have the opportunity to transfer to a new school each and every year. Those things would have sounded ludicrous even just 5 years ago in college athletics. And we caught up with Tom Izzo the other night before Greg Gard's Guarding Against Cancer fundraiser and got a special perspective on the changes he says have gotten out of control.
I mean, I'm all for players making some money. Somebody once said to me, my neighbor once said to me, isn't it nice that the players 3 years ago can make a little money and take their kids or take their girlfriends out to a movie and get a pizza? I said, yeah, but now they can buy the franchise. It's just changed. I mean, transferring, as you know, you had a guy here that's 8 times in 8 years. I don't know if that's healthy for anybody. I don't believe it's healthy. If someone can prove me wrong, I'll jump in with you.
That is your morning sports fix. Have a sensational Sunday.
Thank you, Andrew. And still ahead on Weekend Mornings,
Hey, Kyle. Yeah, you might remember from earlier in the week those headlines of that Milwaukee County judge that was arrested for allegedly trying to help a person in her courtroom evade immigration enforcement. Well, we sit down with a legal expert to talk about what's next in that judge's case. Plus, we also sit down with William Garcia. He's a La Crosse Democrat running to be the next chair of the Wisconsin.
Like this, the longest zip line in the United States is now open. This is near Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. And those who are brave enough to go a mile down it, you'll be going 55 miles per hour, which is an absolutely crazy thing to do. I don't know if I would do that, Jacob. How about you?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like we're all a little afraid of heights. I'm kind of in the middle on that. I'm not afraid, but right. I'm not deathly afraid. So I feel like
longest zip line in the world, though.
That does seem like something really cool. But I think what's the problem of just sitting up top and watching it from there instead of just sliding it down?
The experience.
The experience, yeah, I guess.
All right, let's get a final check of the forecast then.
Yeah, I mean, very nice weather going forward. We are going to see a lot of 70s, 60s, and plenty of sunshine. So overall, it is going to be very nice weather.
All right. Well, thank you, Jacob. That's pretty much it for us here on our Weekend Morning Show. We hope you all have a fantastic Sunday.